Hey y'all, welcome back to Reality Check Please. I'm your host Cassie and happy Monday. We're back to talk about the Love Island Games finale and how it's kind of taken everyone by storm, at least in America. I haven't really heard or seen much of the people in the UK give their feedback. I know with the time difference and everything, it could have been a little bit difficult as I think it was like pretty late, like it was probably like in the middle of the night when the winners were announced, like for UK time. So if you guys are in the UK and you're watching this, let me know your feedback. Let me know your thoughts on the winners. If you are new here as well, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Pop off in the comment sections. Again, be respectful, please, please, please. We will be addressing a lot of the controversy that is around Lucinda. So with that all being said, let's jump right in. So the episode starts off with the evening right after Andrea and Josh went home. They had like a little, I guess you could say, mixer, and they're all kind of sulking in being the final four. If you guys missed After Sun, Colton Underwood was on it and he was giving a little bit of like his feedback on what he thought on like the final four. And he made a very good point. Why would you want to bring all your four best friends or your alliance? Why would you want to bring all of them till the very end? Like you're going to have to fight obviously like your own alliance at the end. Like it made no sense to me. It made no sense. But I get it. Like whatever, they wanted to think that they ran the villa. However, the following morning they wake up and Lucinda and Zay were probably the only ones that were kind of like the least stressed because they already knew they were going to be in the MegaDuel. Johnny and Gabby, Tyreek and Justine, and Toby and Sydney were the ones who were kind of on edge because they knew that they were about to find out like who America voted into the MegaDuel. And obviously, I think they all in their mind thought, okay, like this is like a no-brainer. They all thought they had a very good chance at being in the end. We see Ariana come in and she tells everybody, "It's me at the fire pit. It's about to go down." She asks the vulnerable couples to stand in front of the fire pit and then asks them one by one, like, what would it mean for you guys to get into the MegaDuel, right? Ariana announces Tyreek and Justine were the first safe couple, right? So now it's between Johnny, Gabby, and Toby and Sydney. I truly do not think that Johnny thought that he was going to be vulnerable and be going home. You could tell by Gabby's face that she was crushed when she heard that she was being dumped from the villa. I honestly think that her biggest mistake was coupling up with Johnny because she automatically had a target on her back. I would assume that's why they also keep all the bombshells in like an isolation away from like their phone so they don't see who is America's favorite when they walk in. That makes sense because if she did, then she would have not picked Johnny. I felt so bad for her. You could tell like she even said it. She's like, I feel deflated, like I feel defeated. Johnny, I don't feel bad for because he knew he moved like a snake from the very beginning. What do you guys think about Johnny and Gabby going home? I think that it was very much needed. I think that's honestly who I thought was going to go home because like I said, if we keep going back to the polls from the martini challenge, that night that they threw the martinis in each other's faces, they asked America, who would you want to see most get a martini in their face? The highest number was Johnny with the close second with Tyreek. So I already kind of knew like that alone gave me an idea of who America did not want to move forward. The top two people were Tyreek and Johnny. And so it was no secret to me once we knew that Tyreek was going to be safe, that Johnny was going to be the one going home. It felt so good for Ariana to call his name because I've just been so tired and sick of him walking around like he ran that villa. Like, let's be so for real. He was a real ringleader of games. Okay. We thought Ace was running the villa last season. No, this was like the real ringleader of games. But let me know y'all's thoughts. Pop off. Ariana also mentioned that Johnny and Gabby would be joining the rest of the Islanders who were voted off previously that night when the MegaDuel started. So they were going to be in the crowd cheering on the final top three. They all walk out ready to go. I love their little like puffer like crop vests. Those were a cute touch, like really cute. One thing I do have to mention, Ariana said that there was 21 Islanders the entire season. I didn't even realize there was that many. It did not feel like 21 Islanders. And with that being said, where were Charlie and Chris? Chris, if you haven't seen, posted something on his Instagram last night after I think it was right after the season finale or like finished airing. He posted a series of pictures with no real like substance to his caption. So nobody really knows what happened to him, but he definitely, I think, made a statement with the timing of his post. However, Charlie hasn't really even posted anything regarding to games, regarding to anything. I don't know. I really don't know. I know Charlie was the first Islander to get sent home and dumped from the villa and from games. So I don't know. Maybe he's just still salty about how he had short-lived runs on both seasons, this past season of USA and games. So he's probably like done with Love Island in general. And I don't know. I really don't know why Chris didn't show up. So give all of your predictions down below in the comments. Why do you think that they were not there? The first duel sounded a lot easier at the very beginning. I was like, okay, this is going to be like a smoke show. I think that they're all going to, like, there's not going to be like enough game for us to see because it sounded so easy until I saw the Islanders truly struggling. And I was like, you know what? No, I think it's not as easy as it sounds or looks. Justine, however, she pulled through. We know that she is a competitor. She is smart. She is quick. Like, she knows how to perform and how to compete. So honestly, her coming in first was not surprising. I think the only surprising part was that she was still with Tyreek. Sydney and Toby and Lucinda and Zay were honestly neck and neck throughout the entire rest of the duel or the challenge. For a second there, I was like, no, oh my gosh, Sydney and Toby are definitely going to take this win. And I don't know what happened that Lucinda and Zay like pulled through. I was so happy, honestly. And we will talk about all the controversy surrounding Lucinda at the very end, but I was so happy that she and Zay pulled through. I would, however, have loved to see Sydney and Zay go at it in the MegaDuel. And honestly, looking back, I think that that would have been a more even and fair fight in the end. Like the two top couples, it would have been like more fair and more like evenly distributed of a challenge. But that's just me. Toby and Sydney joined the rest of their fellow Islanders in the stands to watch the final MegaDuel challenge. This one sounded, again, it sounded a lot easier. And I'm going to point one thing out. Now they're wearing helmets. Now, when they're not chucking things at each other, they're wearing helmets. But I'm still going to be so stuck on that challenge where Nicola got hurt because it was such a negligence and an oversight for production. And even then, we see that Nicola gets hurt. But even then, one of you guys pointed it out in the video, they let the boys duel without wearing helmets. And I was just like, oh my, like true negligence. I was so upset. But let's talk about the duel. It sounded, again, a lot easier. And the dang white money bags, similar to the basketball, the white basketball was not the ball that you wanted to have because it just made you vulnerable and it knocked out points. Same thing for the white bags in last night's challenge. We quickly saw that Tyreek is not a good team. He's not good at teamwork. I think last night's challenge, I know that throughout the season and especially towards the very end, he said, I have one fight left in me, or I have one fight in me, because let's be so for real. Nobody in the final three couples or the final top 6 Islanders dueled except Lucinda. Lucinda was the only Islander in the top 3 to actually go into a duel and win. The rest of the 5 Islanders, Zay, Toby, Tyreek, Justine, and Sydney had not dueled the entire season. So for Tyreek to say, I have one fight in me and like, it's going to be like the MegaDuel to prove himself. And the fact that he didn't says a lot. He basically let Justine duel by herself. He was fighting with Zay over one bag to the point where Toby was in the stands, like yelling at him to tell him like, go get the other bags, go, like, leave it. He kept telling him, leave it, like, go help Justine. And what did he do? Nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. That duel tired me out. Honestly, I felt so bad for them, especially for Zay, because you could tell he was literally like giving it his all, fighting for Tyreek. Justine proved herself. I don't think that we were surprised that Justine could handle herself so well like she did. Honestly, like I said again, she dueled by herself because Tyreek was so set for, I think, half the time or more than half the time at just fighting Zay for those bags. It was honestly so pathetic to watch. I think Tyreek honestly showed that had Tyreek dueled at any point in the season, he would have absolutely lost. I think he proved that he not even, like, it just goes to show that just because you play the social game does not mean that you are worth at the very end, because all of them played the social game. And we will talk about that in a little bit. Towards the very end, they all looked like beat up. They looked so like delusional. Poor Lucinda was dragging a white bag into her own corner. And then we see like Tyrannosaurus Rex Tyreek fighting with her to pull it. And it's like, dude, like you couldn't even help out Justine. Worry about the bags that are still in your corner that you need to get out. Don't worry about fighting Zay. Don't worry about fighting Lucinda. A tug of war in a bag. I honestly thought like, damn, like it's not going to go well. Then we hear the buzzer ring, right? Zay just throws himself to the floor, and we even hear him kind of like dry heave. And I was like, oh my God, he's throwing up. I was so scared that he was getting sick, because you even see Lucinda go up to him, and I was like, please tell me he's okay. Like at the end of the day, whichever one of the Islanders, like you never want to see any of them get hurt. So it was honestly like kind of scary to watch. Then we get that big panoramic picture right before we go into commercial break where it's like the aerial photo of like the whole mat, and you can kind of see where the bags landed like at the very end. Obviously, we see that Zay and Lucinda have the most bags in their corner. However, I think they did have like a bag or like one or two white bags. So honestly, it could have been anyone's game. Finally, at the end, right before Ariana's going to crown and announce the winners, you could tell that Justine looked so defeated, rightfully so, because like I said before, she played that MegaDuel on her own. Tyreek left her out to dry. It was on brand for Tyreek. It just kind of, again, furthermore proves our point that he would have never lasted in an actual one-on-one challenge with Josh or anybody else, honestly. Finally, we see that Ariana crowns Isaiah and Lucinda the winners. She goes crazy. He goes crazy. I think that it was, you could see that he fought like a good fight in that final duel. Like he gave it his absolute all, like literally, like everything. Like he was beat down. So I'm happy that they won, guys. I truly am. Especially if it was going to be Tyreek over them, I would have much rather have given it to them 10 times over. Yes, would it have been fun to see Justine win a three-peat? With any other couple, I would have said yes, minus Johnny and like Tyreek or Toby. Had she stayed with Josh, absolutely. Had she coupled up with literally anybody else other than the three blind mice, I think we all would have loved to see it, and we all probably would have voted for it. She was a good sport about it. She said, I pass over the crown and the torch to you guys, the new winners. And obviously that was great sportsmanship. Even Tyreek displayed great sportsmanship. He said, Zay, like, congratulations, like, well deserved, this, that, the third. So honestly, although they lost, I'm happy that they were good sports about it because it's very high tensions, right? Like, it's very high stakes. That's a lot of money, more than I think any other island or Love Island money prize. So this was like a very big and important challenge and win. So I am happy that Lucinda and Zay took the win. However, the most important part was next. That was going to be who chose the money. I had already heard about how they were going to probably do the results or how they were going to choose the winners. Like I said, I never finished watching Love Island Games last season. Somebody else on TikTok did say, it's not about who wins, it's about who the Islanders choose to win the money. So at the end, we see Lucinda and Zay standing up on a little like podium, and the Islanders who were dumped or, defeated, voted off the island, have to choose who they want to stand behind. Before the Islanders came down to vote, they had to write on a little like board whether they were there for love or for money. Whoever then got the most Islanders behind them had to reveal, was not only the winner, but then they had to reveal whether they were there to split the money, choose love, or choose money and take it for themselves all. So we see them both write on their little boards. They're done. They get the Islanders to come down. And honestly, Zay won by like a landslide. I thought it was going to be more of an even count, but no, I think they said that he got like 10 to 12 Islanders stand behind him, whereas Lucinda only got 5. I know people are saying that's very telling of her character, like this at the third, and only furthermore proves like how she probably was in the villa. Whatever. There could have been X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3 reasons as to why that happened. I'm not sure. At the end of the day, they are going to be the ones that are going to tell their story after this is all over. So until then, we have to kind of just take it at face value, take it as with a grain of salt, and don't look too far into it. Lucinda revealed that she was there for love, and she would have split the money with Zay had she wanted. Next, we see Zay with such a poker face. It honestly left me scared. She even said, like, no, I'm actually worried. Like, she looks over to KK and she says, no, I'm actually really nervous right now. He holds out, gives like a super straight, like kind of weird out poker face, until he finally reveals that he was there for love, which honestly I was so happy for, because I truly do think that I could see like them have a future together, whether or not, like, I know that they live overseas, like it's long distance, so how that would work out, I'm not sure. But if they really want it, they will work at it, and that's all that matters. Moving on over to the controversy that, has swept the social media networks with them being the winners. A lot of people were saying, had I known that they were going to take it, we would have left Johnny in. Honestly, guys, people want to say that Tyreek played the social game. I could argue that so did Zay and so did Toby. They kind of stayed low key. I don't think anybody saw Lucinda and Isaiah as a threat. Lucinda came dead last at the very first challenge. And then she kind of redeemed herself very little when in the first duel when she beat Andreina. But even then, guys, after that, I truly don't think that they were a threat in anybody's eyes. So yes, you want to take people like that you don't see a threat to the end, because then it's kind of more in your eyes like, a shoe-in to win. I posted a TikTok last night, and even I posted it on Instagram and YouTube. I posted it across all our social media, and I was saying that I wasn't so sure as to why people were so up in arms about Lucinda winning. I thought that she has been genuine from the jump. She has not truly snaked anybody, and people may argue with that, and that's fine. Give me all your opinions, give me your hot takes. Again, respectfully, there's no need to get so like up in arms about it. A lot of people are saying she's misogynistic, she's male-centered. While that may be true, maybe she's a hopeless romantic. Okay, we saw her fall kind of quickly and hard for Mert. She even said at the very, very beginning in her intro reel, she's like, I'm here to find a husband. She even said it again in that first challenge with Solen when she put her the heartbreak necklace around her, and she says, maybe this is not the game for me. She was very unaware of the games aspect. She did not, I don't think she realized like the whole point of games was to kind of stab each other in the back. It's not so much Love Island. You're not there to find just a connection and make it to the end. You are there to play a game. So she was very, I think, naive at the very beginning. And that's okay to say. She even said, like, at the beginning, like, this is not for me. Like, I'm here for love. Nicola did too. We cannot be this emotional when it comes to a diverse cast like this when things don't go in favor of one or the other. Then people want to say she was microaggressive throughout the entire season and she had it out for Garby and she attacked her. Please timestamp me the several times that she had any microaggression towards Garby. The one comment that people want to say she was being aggressive towards Garby, she even said, oh, like F, like she even said like, F, you scare me now. You guys, they were, because I went back to check and I went back to like verify before I even came on here to say anything. When Lucinda said what she said to Garby, it was the night that Kendall got sent home. It was right after the Power Squad played their big one and basically named their targets. Their targets were definitely Josh, Kendall, Garby, and Nicola. Lucinda is in the Power Squad. So when she came to console Garby, not only because she's really close to Kendall and she says, hey, like now that Kendall's gone, like it sucks. She was just going to check on Garby and that was fine. Lucinda probably wanted to like get information. She was trying to be sly. She's obviously not that good at it because Garby clocked her. She says, I'm not going to tell you my cards. Like, no, at the end of the day, we have to be here for ourselves, like we have to be selfish now that we are getting closer to the end. I'm not going to tell you like my plans. At the end of the day, you are on the opposite team. You are on the Power Squad. So why would Garby tell her who she wanted to couple up with? It made no sense. She was not sneaky at all. So Garby told her, no, like you're on the opposite team. That is when laughingly Lucinda said, oh my gosh, now I'm scared of you. Like, okay. And they both laughed it off. And you know what Garby said? She says, yeah, you should be. And they both laughed it off. It was so unserious. So until Garby comes out and says something, or until the other women of color come out to say something against Lucinda that happened on the show, we cannot be pushing these fake narratives that are dangerous just because you guys want to prove a point or just because you have such dislike for somebody. It is not okay. We cannot do that. And people are also going to say, oh, well, in the Baby Bird challenge, she was targeting Garby because she was spitting in her cup. Everybody was spitting in everybody's bowl. Literally that entire game, all it did was cause more tension. And that's at the end of the day what these challenges are supposed to do. They are supposed to cause tension and create rifts in couples, in alliances amongst each other, like in these friends. That's exactly what they're there to do. So we cannot fall victim to what the Love Island producers are choosing to put out in these edits. So even in the Baby Bird challenge, we saw Toby literally sitting or standing, waiting for the other Islander boys to spit in their bowls just so that he could call them out. It was no secret that this was a game purposefully made and done to create and cause tension between the Islanders. Even Leah Kateb said that she felt very attacked and singled out by the producers who were trying to create a false narrative about her through season 6. We cannot fall into that trap of the producer edit. So until these people come out and share their own experience, we have to take everything with a grain of salt. That being said, I am very happy for Lucinda and Zay. Like I said before, she was literally the only person in the top 4 to have actually gone into a duel and won. Gone into a duel, period, but go into a duel and won. She was very well deserving. She played the game, I think, very well. Is she male centered? Yes, but that's what these people are there to do. They're there to find love. If you are going to go into Love Island, you are probably going to be male centered. You want that attention, right? You want to go find love. You want to go out and experiment and see how many people that you can date to find your person. And that is okay. It's not the end of the world. So I leave you guys with that. Pop off in the comment sections. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. But please don't come in here and start attacking this and making it something that it's not and pushing dangerous narratives because I will not have that. Okay. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And we will be back later on today to do a reality rewind and give some of the recaps that have happened with some of our fellow Love is Blind cast members and housewife drama, Bravo drama that has happened in these past few weeks or over the weekend. So with that all being said, I love y'all. I appreciate you. Like I said again, pop off in the comment sections. Please be respectful, and we'll catch you guys in a little bit. Bye, y'all. Happy Monday.